So I just got out of Deadpool 3 with Margot Robbie, right? And wait, no, it wasn't Deadpool. It was Birds of Prey. That's right. It felt like the same thing, just, with Margot Robbie. Hello there, and welcome to Nerd News, a show created for nerds by a nerd. Hello, that's me. And finally, I'm able to film my review on Birds of Prey, The Emancipation of Harley Quinn, the longest title in history. Anyways, I'm finally getting my chance to give the review. This is a long video, a long time coming for this video, essentially. A few days, maybe a week. I think it was a week. It's been that long that I have no idea how long it's been since I've seen the movie. But before we get on to the review, if this is your first time here, I would greatly appreciate it if you hit the like, the subscribe, and the notification bell. That little notification bell will give you free tacos. But it's not going to give you free tacos. That's false advertising. I am sorry. So, Birds of Prey, The Emancipation of one Harley Quinn. It's been out for a while now, and they said that the movie was underwhelming in the box office. I mean, the movie cost $100 million to make. It got 80% on Rotten Tomatoes, Rotten Score, or whatever you call it. But with everything on Rotten Tomatoes, it'll get like a really high in the critics' view and a really low in the professional, I review movies for a living. But for the majority of it, the critics' view are correct and the movie is very, very good. Now, I'm not a professional movie critic. I mean, you've seen my show. I don't give these big, elaborate details. But I really enjoyed this movie. It is exactly what I thought it would be. Now, of course, the movie didn't gain a huge amount of momentum from the get-go, and that's mainly because of the marketing campaign. Oh, what? Marketing campaign? That's right, they didn't have one. Yeah, the movie only had a few trailers, a bunch of really cool posters, and that's pretty much it. I guess they were solely banking on the name of Harley Quinn to push the movie forward, I guess. But besides the lack of marketing, let's dive into this and let me explain why I enjoyed it, and let's just talk about the movie. But let's start this off with the villains, shall we? This hand motion, that means villains, in case you're wondering. So the main villain, Black Mask, is played by the legendary Ewan McGregor, and you can tell Ewan was having a blast with this character. Black Mask, in case you don't know, he's the sadistic crime lord who literally likes to take the faces off of his victims, or the faces off of people who, disrespected him. You disrespect me, I'll cut off your face. He didn't have that accent at all. That was The Godfather, or a version of The Godfather. But Ewan's playful demeanor and his control freak, very flamboyant take on this really obscure character was really fun to watch. I mean, he was one of those villains that you really root for, and every time he's on the screen, it just looked fun. It just looked like a very fun character who takes your face off, like I said. Now, you need someone to protect a crime boss, am I right? And that person is Victor Zsasz. Now, Victor Zsasz is the one who actually does the face transplant. He is a big DC villain in the Batman universe. He has all these scars on his body, and the scars represent all the victims that he's killed. He's put 6 feet under. You're floating with the fishes, or you're sinking with the fishes, whatever that is. You know what I'm trying to say. Swimming with the fishes. That's what I was trying to get at. But yeah, Victor has all the scars adorned on his body, and right from the get-go, you're like, okay, this guy isn't creepy at all. The performance of Victor Zsasz was exactly like Victor Zsasz needed to be. The Victor Zsasz that I've read the comic books. You just despise him. He has this just gross, if I caught myself in an alley and he's walking one way and I'm walking the other, I'm turning around, calling an Uber and the police at the same time. Now, Victor Zsasz and Black Mask were the two main villains of this movie. I mean, there were also other little tiny mobsters, but honestly, you just needed those two since they were the heart and soul of the crime in Gotham around this storyline. So, Black Mask, he was perfect. I've always wanted to see him, and I got him. Now, the girls of the Birds of Prey. Let's talk about those ladies. First off is the police officer, Renee Montoya. What's great about her is she plays the typical like New York style cop who says the typical lines that you would normally see on like a Law and Order SVU episode. Looks like we got a murder here. My hunch is it's a homicide. Looks like the killer's blood. I have a hunch that it's the husband. You know, typical lines you would hear at a police officer show. But she was great. She was, the funny thing is she was the normal character in this entire flick. Then we're gonna move on to Huntress. Huntress was like the emotional crime fighter mixed, it's like Batman mixed with Arrow, essentially. Now Huntress is very, very, she's very serious. She's in the movie for one reason only, and that's to kill the man who killed her family. So it's like a revenge story. Her character arc is just one revenge story, and she doesn't know small talk at all, which made her insanely fun to bounce off of Harley Quinn. Next, you got Black Canary, the pretty much only real super like mutant who has a mutant power in this entire movie. Now, they didn't show her power. They only showed her power once, essentially. She has the canary cry, essentially. So she can scream, and these sound waves go off, and it like shatters glass and blows cars over. She's Mariah Carey. But she had a really cool fighting style, and then finally, when at the end of the movie, she shows her power. There's no other way to save the people in this situation, so she does the canary cry, and it's actually pretty cool. And of course, we have to mention Harley Quinn in this movie because the movie is, well, pretty much her movie. Now, Margot Robbie, when she was first cast as Harley Quinn, was the absolute perfect casting choice. I mean, Harley Quinn is one of those characters that, male or female, if you're going to play someone like that, you gotta ad-lib and you just gotta let loose, and what happens will happen. And every time you see Margot Robbie on screen in this, she's hilarious. She has these little one-liners. She has these little Harley quirks and ticks. It's just fun to watch on screen. And not to mention that, but they made Harley really brutal in this. Her fight sequences, for example, she breaks a ton of legs. Seriously, like a bunch of legs, you see them snap. Like, this movie is hard R based off of just Harley's fight sequences. And I guess it's kind of great though, because if you're gonna date the Joker, you're gonna learn a thing or two about a thing or two. You know what I mean? Snap. That's a leg being broken. Now, the only thing though about this movie that was kind of misleading from the trailer was you thought the movie was going to be more centered around the Birds of Prey, the female group. You only got to see them at the end. That's the only time you got to see them as a group fighting in this clown clubhouse that the Joker would hide out in. But the whole movie centered around Harley getting into trouble and all these other characters kind of fitting around her world, and then they become a part of her world, and they pretty much rely on each other to get out of said situations. I mean, the film is mighty colorful, as you imagine. It's like someone took Deadpool, they took some John Wick, and then they took a box of crayons and they hit blend, and at the end they poured it out on a film reel, and then they gave it to us on screen, and that's Birds of Prey. Best analogy I can think of. There you go. And before we sign off, guys, I wanted to give a big shout out to Fearscape. Fearscape is a wonderful, creepy, spooky podcast that is centered around true life ghost stories. So if you like stories that involving ghosts, ghost sightings, UFOs, things of that nature, then check them out. It is a fantastic show. So if you would like to know where to listen to them, you can go to Spotify, Overcast, and Anchor. Yet again, it's called Fearscape, and their latest episode is up now, episode 56. And guys, if you love my show, check out my social media accounts on Twitter and on Instagram. I update those daily so that you are in the know of what's going on. Wow, that was really animated. I haven't done that one that animated in a long time. And thanks for watching, guys. And remember, if you're going through a nasty breakup and you decide to blow up a building, well, that's called a crime. You'll go to jail.